Kevin Willard, to me, is kind of everything that is wrong with how we view the college coaches and the game in general. Here's what I mean. Is he a great coach? No. Is he a good coach? Is he a valuable coach? Obviously, you had two good basketball programs trying to score him. Maryland's trying to keep him. Villanova's trying to woo him away. So you know what? You're only as valuable as your options. He had two good options. He was able to drive up the price and ultimately jump to the Wildcats program. He gets to go to a program where it's a basketball first, in some ways basketball only program. You're not splitting finances, resources, and attention with the football program. You get to go into a basketball-only conference in the Big East. You're back there. You've coached the Northeast. You've recruited the Northeast when you were at Seton Hall. I understand why that's a fit, and it's a place where you've won 2 national championships as a program in the last decade plus. You know what? Hey, hard to argue that's not a really good job, and for whatever your personal beliefs are, if you're Kevin Willard, maybe that's the better job. What is ugly about this is him using his public platform to negotiate his own contract. You know, when you hear college basketball coaches or college football coaches espouse what their importance is, it's always about making sure that kids are ready for their post-collegiate life. And for some, that's basketball. John Calipari famously, I want to make sure your family is set up for life. I'm all about your family. I'm changing your family's financial future, right? You have a guy like Fran Brown at Syracuse, now touting all of my guys are taking classes in financial management. Very smart play by Coach Brown. Very smart. But this is about setting your guys up after sports is over. It's all about making them better men, better human beings, better citizens, right? This has been what all these coaches have banged the drum on for years. And Kevin Willard took an opportunity that was about the players in there and about the kids or the student athletes or however you want to define them. And he took it and flipped it and made it about him. This is about me. In a media availability before his team took the floor, Kevin Willard decided, I'm going to make this about my situation. And my AD has taken the SMU job. I don't have the right support. I couldn't keep my kids overnight in New York City. Blah, blah, blah. Do you think your players going into the NCAA tournament are at that moment worried about what didn't happen in December to stay an extra night in Manhattan because you played at the Barclays Center for a couple of nights? Do you really think that's what's on their mind? Of course not. It's on your mind. It's on your mind. Do you think they have any sense that the AD is taking the SMU job? Of course not. That's about you. That's your job. And so all these guys, including Willard, who talk about the kids, how proud they are of the kids. It's all about the kids. They bought in, they bought in, they bought in. It's about team, not individual, right? This is what they talk about incessantly. Took an opportunity from his players and at another distance from the fans that support him and have paid his salary from their own funds, their own boosters, etc., at least in some ways. Support of the program. He wants a packed house at Xfinity Center. He wants a home court advantage. He wants to make sure other Big Ten schools come in here and they know where it's at. He took fans and he took players and he dragged them through his situation. His situation. How selfish can you be? And then to spin it forward, going into a Sweet 16 game, asked about, well, why'd you use that platform last week to talk about your situation? Can you just talk about what your reasoning was? Ignored the question and merely went on to say, well, it's going to be really hard to guard Walker. Florida Gators are a really good team. I'm just, as though the question didn't exist. How immature, how unprofessional, how selfish. You took a moment that was about kids and about the program, about the history of the program. You flipped it on yourself. And then when faced with a question about yourself, ignored it. He ultimately takes the Villanova job. I'm sure there's plenty of Maryland fans saying good riddance. Let the door hit you on the way out. We don't need you. But Willard typified these last 2 weeks of the worst of this thing. That every coach is going to bellyache about the transfer portal. It's going to bellyache about all these options that the players have that now they have to worry about recruiting kids and keeping kids on campus. And that kids now are in this disease of me, as Pat Riley would say. And all these kids are just about themselves, their own situation. It's so hard to get them on the same page to play for a team. And Kevin Willard did exactly that. He made it about him the entire time. So badly that Maryland fans were booing him on the team's way to the arena. Imagine souring an entire fan base's experience of a wonderful trip to the tournament and into the Sweet 16 because you decided to make it about you. Who cares what coaches do? Because, hey, no one's holding it against them. You can take other jobs. You can make more money. That's been happening for decades. It's not going to stop happening. But talk about a complete hypocrite. Kevin Willard, good luck at Villanova. I think most of us are rooting against you.